everybody, welcome back to another video. So today I'm so excited to be talking about how I got a job under 16. I actually have made this video in the past, but I was 14 and I didn't have a lot of experience in my job yet when I made the video. And it's been over a year that I started working there, so I thought I would remake this video. My under 14 video actually has hit 26,000 views. Thank you guys so much for that. It's so exciting for me, and I'm getting all these DMs on like Instagram and stuff, like asking questions, and the comments are full of questions. So I thought I would remake this video, and especially after a year, I've learned a lot. So if you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe down below and like that like button. And yeah, let's get on with this video. So we're gonna start with my experience of working a job under 16 for over a year. My year was actually May 4th at Chick-Fil-A, which is so exciting. So it's been over a month now. So I've been working there for about a year and a month now. So I'm gonna talk about my job description first. So I'm actually a front of the house member, which means I basically handle all the person interactions. I don't really know how to explain it necessarily. So I do things like give you your food, take your order, package your food and give it to you, work with money, that kind of thing. That's really what we do at the front of the house. Now the back of the house, which is what we call it, would be more like kitchen stuff. So they're making the food, they're preparing your food, they're pre-packaging your food. So that's really the difference between the two. I honestly love my job. I really would not trade it for anything. We get really great benefits at my job. Free food, which is not always guaranteed, but a really great gesture. We love it. We so much appreciate our owner. Shout out to you, Lance. But yeah, I really have been loving it. After a year, I really don't see myself anywhere else at the moment. I love the people, the environment. There's a lot of under 16 there, which makes me feel welcome, and I don't feel super young around the people. They definitely do not treat you like, you're second class or anything. Now I'm gonna get into some of the things you guys have asked me. So at my Chick-Fil-A, personally, I started out with minimum wage, which every state's different, but usually if you're under 16, that's probably what you will start with. But we do get raises based on our performance at the job. So I have gotten a few raises. I'm not going to disclose the amount that I personally make, but just to give you an idea, to think about your minimum wage and maybe a little bit more, like 10 cents more. So I get paid through direct deposit bi-weekly. So what that means is every other week I get paid and it goes straight into my bank account. You can have a bank account at any age, if you didn't know that, which I also have a debit card that goes with my bank account so I can use my money. My parents do not control it. It is fully mine. My parents do not get to say my money at all, which I really appreciate because, I'm the one working for it. When you're hired, your hiring director will tell you how much you make, so you don't have to guess that. And every time you are paid, you do get a slip telling you, either you get emailed, I think, or you get it handed to you. It tells you how many hours you worked, what's your hourly rate, and taxes that are taken out of it, how much you make year to date, which means how much have you made from the beginning of the year to the day you get paid. I would show you guys a picture of it, but I'm not gonna do that because I don't want you guys to know my personal information. But yeah, it basically just tells you everything you need to know about your paycheck. So during the school time, at least in my state, I don't know if it's different everywhere, but look it up, I guess. But in my state, personally, we have a requirement during school. So I don't know if I think Labor Day, is when it switches. So Memorial Day and Labor Day. So the beginning of Memorial Day considered the start of summer for working till the day of Labor Day. And after Labor Day, it's the school time. You see what I'm saying? I hope you do. So after Labor Day, so during the school time, we are only allowed to work up to 3 hours and not past 7. And there's I think it's 2 o'clock is the earliest you can work because of school. So my normal hours would be because my school got at 2:30, so I usually would work at 3 or 3:30 till 5:45 to 6:15ish. Some people work from 4 to 6:45. I didn't like that because it's kind of too late for me. Then I feel like I don't have time for my school to be able to balance it all. And then that was I think it was about 15 hours to 12 hours a week, depending on how many days I worked. You can like change your schedule to whatever you work with. So like I couldn't work on Mondays or Wednesdays, so then I could work Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We're not open on Sunday, so I can't work Sunday. But yeah, that's kind of how it was during the school time. And then during summer, currently I'm actually working 4 days a week, 5.5 hours each day. So I'm working 3 to 8:30, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Just don't have time on like Wednesdays and Saturdays to like do what I want to do. So yeah, that is about 22 hours, I think. But I still can pick up shifts where I can like take people's shifts who can't work those shifts, and I can take them and I can work them. Just so that spot isn't like empty. That's really how the hours worked. Usually you can create like your availability and what you can work and cannot work. And my store is very flexible, which I'm very grateful for. But I know some stores not necessarily that way, but you know, play it by ear and just do what works for you. And that's most important. Now talking about how I manage having a job and going to school, and I also have a boyfriend and having family, like how did I manage it? So if you think about it, there's 24 hours in a day. I went to school from 7:30 to 2:30. So that's kind of how long I would have. So then I went to work from either 3 or 3:30 to around 6 o'clock. So you still have all that time. If you say you go to bed at 10, if you get home at 6:30, you still have 3.5 hours to, you know, hang out with friends, hang out with your family, do schoolwork or whatever. And then you also have the weekends. I'm off on Sundays, so that gives me a big advantage of not having to like worry about like not having time for people, because like Sundays I can go and hang out with people, you know, hang out with my boyfriend or do other things. So for me, it wasn't too hard to manage. I'm a pretty good student in my personal opinion. I was able to finish the school year out with really good grades, even though I had a job. If you feel like you're too stressed, a job's not for everybody, especially not under 16. It's a lot of work and it's not easy. It's not at all easy. Sometimes it sucks. Sometimes you don't want to go to work. Maybe you don't feel good, but you have to go to work because you made that commitment. I just think it's important to remember that it is a job and it's not going to be this great, extravagant, fun time. Like, you're not going to hang out with your friends. Like, you're going to do your job. You have to serve the people that you're serving. You know, my job, if I'm an order taker, is to go take orders, and I have to do it. Like, you know, there's people who are relying on you, and you got to remember that. And you know, pat yourself on the back because it's a lot of work. And if you get a job, like, good job. Like, it's hard to get a job under 16. Like, I don't want you guys to forget that. It's not easy to get a job. It's not, especially under 16. With no experience, it's just hard. I don't really know like how to tell you guys this. I went through, I think, 4 or 5 interviews. I went through a phone interview, an email interview, and 2 or 3 in-person interviews until I got the email saying I got the job. It was a lot of work. You have to put your best foot forward. I'm not saying a lie. You need to be yourself. Be yourself, dress appropriately. You are going to get a job. You're not going to school and wearing a sweatpants and a hoodie. You need to be looking presentable and like you're ready to work. Put your best foot forward and be yourself. Do not lie. Do not lie, because it will come and bite you in the butt. I promise. Okay, and a lot of people had trouble with their parents, which I found really interesting. My parents were very encouraging. They're like, you know, if you want to have a job, you know, go for it. But they weren't like, you need to have a job at 14. Like, you need to go get a job. They were very supportive. If you have trouble with getting rides, if your parents cannot take you all the time, and you become like good friends with people at work, more than likely they'll take you to work. If you have the same like schedules, they'll probably take you to work, I promise. And there's also Uber, Lyft, all those type of things. I know some places have bus stops, like I don't know what you call that, like public buses that will take you like closer and then you can walk. Or if you live close enough, you can walk. I mean, you know, ride your bike if you live closely. Do not ride your bike on a highway, please, though. I'm not responsible if you get hurt. I'm not responsible. I just say make it work on the rides, and like parents, just like tell them like, you know, it's a really learning thing. Like, I have become a completely different person than I was before I had a job. You know, I feel like I'm more confident. I can talk to more people. Like, I can totally go up to somebody at school now and just talk to them without even knowing them. Like, I'm not worried about it. It builds a lot of character, and you will definitely like learn so much. So I had some of you guys ask if you could only work in the summer, which isn't a possibility depending on your store's ideas and philosophies. So my store allows seasonal workers, so you could either be a seasonal worker and only work during the school time, or you can work during summer. Actually, one of my friends that was hired with me actually is only working during the school time, which is interesting, but you know, if it works for him, it works for him. I also know people who are only during the summer because they go off to college and that's the only time that they can come. So definitely do not be afraid to ask about like seasonal working. So as soon as I got the job, I got a long email telling me everything about like what I needed to do for the next step to start this great new chapter in my life. So the first thing I did was actually set up my bank account, which I already talked to about. But then I went to orientation. So orientation is basically like where you give them all your legal documents, saying like, yes, I know I'm like gonna work here and I agree to working here. You sign all paperwork, get your uniform, which I'll talk about in a second. And yeah, basically they tell you everything you need to know about starting your job. When do you start? Setting up your availability and everything like that. So uniforms, we put down a $20 deposit, and whenever we are done working at our job, we can get the uniform back and we will get the money back. So that's how it worked at my store. And then we also have to wear non-slip shoes, so you can either buy them from them and you pay half and they'll pay the other half, or my tip, now don't tell them this, is if you need to wear non-slip shoes, Walmart. And then from orientation, you go to training. So training at my store is done at my store. Like I know some places they get you to another store and they train you there because they don't have space or time to train you at their store. But because Chick-Fil-A's are independently owned, we do everything at our store. So training lasts differently for everybody. I went through training for I think 2.5 months. But I know people who went through training for 9 months. So it's really just how you apply yourself, making sure you can get out of training whenever you're done, when you learn everything. We go through a thing called Trello, which goes over everything you learned and making sure you actually know what you're doing. So then, you know, you're confident in doing your job and not needing help from other people the whole time. I don't know what else to really say. I definitely think that it doesn't hurt to try. The worst thing that you can be told is no, and I wouldn't worry too much about anything else. Also, I wanted to add, it does not matter what you look like. You can be tall, short, literally, you could be LGBTQ, you could be straighter than a line. I mean, it does not matter who you are. You can apply. It doesn't matter. You know, be confident in yourself. If you look young, you are young. You're not 16, so they don't expect you to look like a 40-year-old. You know what I mean? Just be confident in yourself and know that you definitely could have a job. And I think the thing is, a lot of people don't know that you can have a job under 16, so then they don't apply themselves. But if you apply yourselves, you might, you know, get a job. Alright, that is all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe down below. It would really help me out. And yeah, bye guys. I'll see you next Monday. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba.